Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I'm your host. Whoa, what?
I was just saying Japanese sequential art.
Oh, I am your host, Christian, the unbiased king, Espinal, and joining me through Discord, it is the man, the myth, the legend. You all know him. You love him. It's Joshua Gangsta Time Cole.
It's called Partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
What up, Chris? What's good, everybody listening?
Hey. Also joining us is the interrupting edgelord Big News Brian.
なんというビッグニュース!
What's up, nerds?
Yeah, we're back, baby. Brand new week, brand new chapters. Very excited to get into this week. We got a lot to go through, so let's not waste any time. Let's get into plugs real fast. You could find me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Check out my other podcast, The Shweekly. It is currently not putting out new episodes quite yet because we're working on the second season, but until then, check out. We got 10 episodes up that make up the first season, so check it out. And yeah, that's it for me. Josh, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at jdcole_37 and on X at New Jump City Josh.
Ooh, yeah, Brian.
You can find me at beat.esp on both Instagram and Twitter. And if you ever want to catch me streaming, you can find me on twitch.tv/itspunchline.
Hey, yeah, you can follow the show itself also at New Jump City on X and Instagram.
You guys are so cringe.
It's not me.
You're trying too hard, Brian.
Yeah. And Instagram. Check us out on that. Or you can email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about. That would be super cool to get some feedback from you guys, whether it's through the email or whether you comment on the YouTube videos that we put out every week. Still put up the full episodes on YouTube if you prefer listening to podcasts on there. Check us out. Hit us a comment, like, share, subscribe to the podcast on that. Also subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. It's probably the optimal way to listen to us right now since we are pretty much audio only at the moment, but hopefully we'll be back on video very soon. And I think that's it. Our plugs. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the show. One Piece. This is One Piece chapter 1093, Luffy versus Kizaru. Last we left off, Kizaru has descended upon the island and has started fighting against Luffy one-on-one, mano-a-mano. It's pretty tough to fight against him as...
The cover page.
Huh?
The cover page?
Oh, I mean, it's not like a story cover page, but yeah.
But I mean,
there's a
it's
cover.
super epic and important.
I don't know about that.
Maybe not important.
Not epic either. It's just a picture. It's just a reader request. Since Josh wants to bring it up, it's a reader request where there's these little lemurs stealing
Tarsier Brothers?
Huh?
The Tarsier Brothers?
The Tarsier brothers stealing Kobe and Helmeppo's eyewear. It's cute. I never understood what Helmeppo always wore. What is that?
It's like a visor.
Yeah? Like a Cyclops visor?
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Well, now I want it.
With the lens going all the way around his head.
Yeah. Now I want that. All right, so Luffy is now fighting Kizaru. He manages to shake Luffy for a second and make it inside the labo phase itself, where he was about to finish off Vegapunk, but Luffy went Gear 5 and now is physically holding Kizaru. And we open the chapter with Luffy lifting him up out of the building, looking like a giant. And then he just swings his arm a whole bunch as Kizaru is just calm. He's just like, now, let's not get carried away, as Luffy like throws his ass.
Slings that nigga.
Yeah, super duper far away. And Luffy's just laughing in the air, like, haha, look at him fly. At this point, everybody's like, now, like, oh shit, we gotta run now that Luffy's holding off Kizaru. So Atlas heads off to take control of the pacifistas so that they won't be like targeted by them the second they go down. Vegapunk, the main Vegapunk body, goes with Atlas, and he calls over to Frankie, telling him that Bonnie is down below in the Fabrio phase. So they're gonna go help. Sanji also volunteers his services to go help Bonnie, because she's a woman, and Sanji rescues women because he is Prince. Jinbei is heading towards the near exit with all of Vegapunk's luggage, so to speak. We cut down to the Fabrio phase. Wait, what?
All of the kids.
Oh yeah, we cut to the Fabrio phase where Bonnie seems to be working her magic and aging the Navy soldiers down below using her abilities. And we see that Sentomaru has been burned to a crisp. We learned that after being zapped by the laser shield, Bonnie was actually saved by Sentomaru. So, she's safe down there. She doesn't know what to do though, because she's still surrounded by enemies. Meanwhile, back at the Labo phase, Luffy looks over to Zoro, who is currently fighting Lucci, and asks if he needs help. And Zoro's like, nah, just focus on Kizaru, man. And Zoro is fighting against Lucci, it seems, holding his own. He is already in his King of Hell mode, where he's got the haki around his swords, and he's telling him, is like, if this is the best you can do, I wouldn't expect getting a shot to fight the captain. And Lucci's like, I mean, maybe not, but you know what? It'll be worth it to just kill the number 2 of a Yonko crew. Which,
True.
makes sense.
And he's distracted him from fighting against Kizaru.
Yeah.
Who might actually struggle against someone like Zoro. It's so crazy how Zoro and Luffy complement each other.
Yeah.
Not bad matchup wise.
No, it's true.
They cover each other's weaknesses.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Kizaru is just flying down towards the ocean as he notices himself. It seems he's like, seem to be falling towards the ocean. And then he readjusts his flight and starts flying again. He basically teleports over back to the Labo phase using his Yasakani sacred jewel. And he clones himself on top of that. So there's like a bunch of light clones heading towards Luffy. All of them have like their sword, their lightsaber sword that Kizaru does.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty sick. And Luffy uses his Dawn Stamp to like get rid of all of them in one go. But none of them are the real Kizaru. And it turns out he is down at the Labo phase, already got Usopp in his clutches. Luffy's eyes bug out from above. It's like, whoa, you tricked me. And Kizaru's too late himself because Vegapunk is already gone. Sanji is desperately holding on to the Vegatank 8 that he is escaping in. Vegapunk is zooming towards Bonnie. And Luffy's like, Apple Man, don't go into the open or he'll kill you. And Luffy saves Vegapunk from a light beam by eating it alive. And it seems to be burning Luffy from the inside, which is pretty insane. Frankie also holds on to the Vegatank 8 and is going on with Sanji and Atlas and Vegapunk to save Bonnie. Meanwhile, Frankie tells Lilith that she can use the General Frankie to carry the ship. And we cut over to the coast of Egghead, where the Vega Tank 8 makes it through the laser barrier to finally give the pacifistas the order to wipe out all Navy soldiers on the island, much to the chagrin of J. Saturn Garcia. Or is it J. Garcia Saturn? I don't know. Whichever
Jay Garcia
one.
Saturn.
Okay, J. Garcia Saturn. And that's where the chapter ends. Actually, a short chapter, 16 pages for One Piece this week. But regardless, Josh, what do you think about One Piece chapter 1093?
I'm gonna go ahead and give One Piece my RGC.
Whoa.
Yeah, man.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
This is definitely a matter of bias because this is the first comic I read, and I had a lot of energy at the time, and I was so hyped to see Kizaru and Luffy fight. I thought it was I really liked the exchange between Zoro and Lucci because I wasn't too impressed that they were about to fight each other, and who knows if there's more to see from it. Maybe they'll make it. Maybe Oda will make a fight out of it. But if they was to leave it how it is now as a fight on on the side, I think it just means a lot. Like how Zoro is being acknowledged as the number two, and like how it just talks. It's just about responsibility. You know what I mean? Zoro may come like I already kind of mentioned in the while you was covering it, Chris. Zoro may realize that he needs to go help out Luffy. Like he's better off doing that instead of just scrapping with this guy. But he is really strong, so I don't know. I like the possibilities here. I have no idea where the story's going. Chapter by chapter. Luffy stomped out all them clones. All right, so I'm sure you guys may have opinions about this as well, but like I feel like this is the first time we're seeing Luffy kind of like fight, calmly with Gear 5, where it's not this big epic feat like when he was fighting against Kaido.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like kind of able to see it more in a general sense, more in like a just a commonplace, like how much is it a just a power up, like an incredible power up, or is this super unbeatable gimmick? And we can see like it's as strong as he is combat wise, he still has to be creative. He still has to figure out ways like to beat the people he's fighting against. And he's not omnipotent, where like, he has to worry about his crewmates and shit too. So I just thought that this chapter did a lot of like groundwork or even like heavy lifting, so to speak. But a lot of other series just lack things like this. Like see like getting this like this little fight with between Luffy and Kizaru to kind of set the tone, I guess, so to speak. So yeah, job well done. I can't wait till next week. I can't tell. Is it off next week? Is it?
I can't
It
tell
doesn't say when
either.
it's coming
And
back.
that's the thing is that if it doesn't immediately say like in 7 days, I assume that One Piece is probably going to be off next week.
Yeah, because I'm seeing with the other ones, it says like
It's going to be
you know,
back, basically.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Everything else is like 6 days. So
yeah.
those are pretty much my thoughts, though. Any rebuttals?
No, I mean, I think I agree with a lot of what you said. It is cool to see Luffy not be just this unbeatable guy all of a sudden. And it does fall in line with the idea of Gear 5, is that it's only as strong as Luffy is creative. So, if he doesn't know how he can maneuver a win against Kizaru, it'll like keep him on more even ground in terms of power scaling. So
Mm-hmm.
I think
Yeah.
I think that's a really cool thing that One Piece does.
And who else to show us than a fucking Admiral Kizaru? The yellow monkey himself.
Yeah. Brian, what were your
Future
thoughts?
Straw Hat Pirate. This was a fun chapter. I I really like the battle between Lucci and Zoro because Zoro never got his payback for what Lucci did to him in Enies Lobby. So this is a nice little comeback.
Yeah, tossed
I
him
thought it
into
was
a chimney.
also interesting that after one scrap with Luffy, Lucci immediately changed his mind on Luffy being an emperor. He's immediately like, "Yeah, you're the second place to Yonko. I could take you."
Yeah, you're more
I'll
my
take it.
speed.
He went
All
from
right.
nah, Monkey D. Luffy ain't shit, bro. He ain't no fucking
And then he's
emperor."
fought him. He's like,
Yeah, that he's about it. He is a fucking about it.
oh,
So he punched my face in,
yeah.
and it went 8 fucking feet. Like, you know,
Did
what
I
I'm
hear a
saying, away from
thwomp
my
when he hit
body.
me? Did he? It sounded like an anchor hit me when he hit me.
That's probably because an anchor literally hit me.
Yeah, Rob got his fucking world rocked.
Yeah, Rob is like, all right, I'll take
Rob
Zoro.
got
Zoro's not
fucked up.
beating me.
Oh man, Lucci don't want no
no.
parts.
I really
Well
love.
done, Oda. Well
As a
done.
side note, I do love like the handling of Lucci at this point. It was so funny because he's such a scrub now. That's a fraud. That's a fraud. This guy was the main villain of the arc. He was one of the people in the pre-time skip material that pushed Luffy legitimately to the end of the end of his line, and now he's like, Luffy literally looked at him and says, "Don't beat up on other people because you lost to me so easily just now. Don't get sour grapes because I raffle stomped you in front of your boy here."
I raffle stomped you.
Yeah, but yeah, Brian, go on with your thoughts.
I want Frankie to do more this arc. I hope that he gets like a moment, like more moments, because this is like one of his dreams, right? Is meeting Vegapunk.
Yeah,
So this should be his fucking like not be his arc, but it should be like he should have more focus. Because it just makes sense for him to have some more focus in this arc.
I agree, and I think like Oda is making it a point that he's more active than he's been in other arcs in this one. You know, he is going down to save Bonnie. He is with Vegapunk himself, so I think that in of itself is like probably like a good elevation for Frankie, being the guy with Sanji to protect Vegapunk and Bonnie.
Yeah, I've also thought about how there's still potential for something to happen. You know what I mean? Like with Frankie, or it may just take a moment. You know what I mean?
I mean, Lord knows I like it. I love Frankie. Frankie's like one of my favorite Straw Hats. So
yeah, low key. He's like I remember a point in time I said he was my favorite character. I think.
yeah, he's like he's yeah, he's a very quiet guy, but when he shows out, he shows out. He's won like a lot of his battles pretty easy.
He smoked Mr. Pink, right?
Senor Pink, he had a little trouble with, but like it was only because he wasn't dodging, like he was having a man's battle.
Yeah.
But he did beat the shit out of him. And then he beat
acknowledged him as a man, even though he was a robot. That means a lot to him.
Then he beat one of the Toby Ropo pretty no diff. It wasn't very hard for him.
Yeah.
He beat a Yonko crewmate pretty easy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say he like struggled super hard. It was like a challenge, but like he beat him pretty nice. He didn't sustain a lot of damage. He was one of the people who didn't really like get hit during Wano.
He must turn into Optimus Prime.
Well, apparently if the future goes well enough, he becomes a ship. So
wow.
There's that.
I think he's going to become Pluton.
That'd be hilarious if he becomes Pluton. But that's neither here nor there. Brian, were those all your thoughts? Do you have any others?
Those are all my thoughts.
Yeah, I don't really have much more to say piggybacking off of you guys, except for I like this chapter quite a bit. This is one of those chapters though where you could tell like Oda in his ability to like write so many, like juggle so many plot lines in the air and write a lot of chaotic things going on all at once. It's just like sometimes pages feel a little stuffed with information, and
Mhm.
you know, like it feels all like very crammed, which, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world, but sometimes it makes for like not the best reading experience. Um, but I did like this chapter and everything that happened in it. All the plot stuff is not a problem. I guess like composition stuff is um a thing that kind of plagues One Piece nowadays, where everything feels so condensed and panels are like super small, so you could fit as much shit happening as possible. But that's my rare, very rare criticism of One Piece. Otherwise, I had a good time reading this, and seeing Luffy versus Kizaru is super entertaining. And I'm wondering if he does defeat him at this point, or they just end up running away. But yeah, who's to say? I'm excited to find out what's next. Hopefully, it doesn't go on break next week, but we all
Right.
know it's probably going to go on break next week. Do we have any final thoughts? Any rebuttals? Because those were all my thoughts.
Yep, those are all my thoughts.
Alrighty then, let's move onward.
ブラッディ・クロス。
My Hero Academia.
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 RGC.
Already? Damn.
Oh shit!
God damn.
I write it down.
Well, all right, already. I guess I'll just start the thing now.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
Well, now to move on to the actual chapter. This is My Hero Academia, chapter 401, The Lunatic. Last we left. What?
I forgot the name of the title.
Last we left off with My Hero Academia. Oh boy, I almost sorry, gingerbread. I hit my cat by accident. I elbowed her. Anyway, last we left off with My Hero Academia, Stain has entered the battle and using the All for One's blood that he got off a rock somehow. He was able to paralyze All for One long enough to stop him from attacking All Might, and we opened this chapter with him closing in with his super cool and edge katana on one of All Might's like weird glider thingies, and he explains that he surmised the state of affairs from what the Burned One and Ingenium were saying. I guess he was talking about Todoroki, and he was following the path of destruction to collect a blood stain, hoping that he could get like All for One's blood in the rubble that's been going on in their fight. And he's been using his nose because even with a chopped off nose, his nose is capable of identifying someone's blood by scent. And he found a rock that had All for One's blood on it, and was able to lick it and get All for One frozen. So he's like, yeah, they're about to both close in and give All for One a 2-piece. And Stain in particular is coming down with his sword to behead All for One, but All for One uses his forcible quirk activation, Bloodlet, to just explode blood out of himself. And this guy and Stain is like, whatever, this doesn't fucking help. You know, blood is blood even outside the body. And it stops. All for One like grabs him with one of his weird mouth things, and he explains that he has used his antigen swap to overwrite his own blood type. So it's one of the secrets that was that allowed him to not leave a single trace of himself behind. That is that he could always change his blood so he couldn't be identified by it. So
What a wild ass quirk. Can we talk about that? Like,
Yeah.
what a wildly specific quirk.
Yeah. So this thing chomps on Stain and just sends him fucking flying, which is pretty sad. He then All For One just flies away right towards him. Stain is just like on his back, just not doing great, and All For One tells him that he'll be taking his blood curdle now. And he's like, thinking back, you made valuable contributions to the growth of this league and by extension, Tomura. So I'm afraid your role ended there, killer. And Stain says, like, didn't end, all part of the process, Demon Lord. And in his head, he starts thinking to himself that he never benefited from a higher education, and it was All Might that taught him what a hero was. He says to live on and triumph, as All For One just turns him into pudding with a punch, I guess. Pretty sad. I guess we could give,
The
this,
death sound.
yeah, he's getting one of these. So yeah, he's not doing good. All For One turns his attention to All Might, who is being shielded by the remaining parts of his shield, and I think this is like, maybe this is something that Stain summoned, because All Might was pretty surprised by it. But the shield's not really enough. It still blasts All Might away, and he's just like basically knocked out at this point. And he sees visages of Nana Shimura and Night Eye basically egging him on, and he's realizing that to himself. He's like, all right, these guys aren't real. This is just in my head, giving myself a pep talk. He says, your support items, your legs, all you've been given are all rendered useless. You can no longer fight, but you are not dead yet. And All Might, still smiling, is like, do your worst. Meanwhile, they are pretty damn close to the UA weird big thing that's flying in the sky. And we get a transmission saying that All For One is nearing Tomura Shigaraki, and he's within range to use his Gloop Warp. And that's where the chapter ends. Josh, what did you think about My Hero Academia chapter 401?
AFO is a slippery motherfucker, man.
Oh, yeah.
He's a slippery, crafty guy. This Stain thought he had it, man. He thought he was the one. He was like, "Don't worry, All Might. Let me show you how to do this." I said, "Got a slash," and then he blew himself up. Like, what? You had a quirk ready to counter this nigga? What a dweeb. What a fucking tryhard. Like, this is OD. This is Aizen type shit, but worse. Aizen is one of the final boss characters from a series named Bleach, for those who don't know. But and he knows everything. He has a plan for everything. And that's All For One, man. He's just always has the upper hand.
So
how the
does that quirk
fuck
even
did
work?
All Might beat him before? What?
How does that quirk even work? Like, what is the purpose of it? Just
Well-
to remove your blood?
Yeah, man.
It just pulls all the blood out of your body? That's
And
it.
of course he's okay, I guess, because of the time thing.
No,
No,
the
I
quirk.
What?
The quirk is that he basically just like he expelled his own blood using bloodlet, which allows you to, I guess, burst your blood out of your body, and then he used antigen swaps so that like whatever blood got on Stain wasn't his own. So when he licked it, it took off the power he had over All For One.
Yeah.
So since he licked blood that wasn't All For One's, the
Oh.
power, the control that he had over All For One's body stopped.
So he tricked him.
Yes.
Oh my god! Because when he was like, "So it's blood is still blood," and then as soon as he licked it, that's when he like made him able to move again.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Oh shit! He should have just not did it at all, but he baited him.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah. Oh, Stan got fucking wrecked, man. And he dead.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, I hope he didn't take his quirk.
I mean, he
man,
said he
this
was
feels-
going to take his quirk, so
But maybe, but maybe All Might distracted him enough. Yeah.
nah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't know,
I
dog.
think that quirk is probably his now.
What do we call that? GG.
No,
Oh,
Um,
all right.
I have the.
Deck-
Don't worry, Josh. I got you.
Deku's strong enough to maybe.
GG.
Yeah, it's a pretty.
He wins now. I think if he could pass that on to Shigaraki, that's what he's trying to do, right? Merge with him so he can get all the quirks and shit.
He's trying to merge with Shigaraki so he could have a new body.
But is he gonna have all those quirks he had?
Yeah. He would just have a
Oh,
new young
man.
body.
Oh my god.
No, my god.
Not again. I just want to see Shigaraki.
I
Just let All For
say
One
in like
die.
2 chapters tops, we're gonna get back to Deku versus Shigaraki.
I'm
'cause
gonna
this fight
fight
is
you and
getting
say
rough.
3.
I'm gonna say 5.
Well, you're wrong, subjectively.
Damn. My bad.
You're more objectively wrong than Brian.
You're right. Shit. I fucked up. Was those all your thoughts, Josh?
Yes.
Brian, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, this was my RGC.
Yeah,
Mainly
we know.
because I don't know. All Might has been so good this entire fight, man. It speaks so much volumes to how like he has shown in this fight the most balls out of any hero in the series so far. Like
You have balls.
huh?
Remember from Team America? When it
Oh, yeah.
was
Oh,
like,
yeah. You have
Yeah.
balls.
Like he showed
I
he
like
is-
balls.
He is showing
I'm
so
sorry,
much
bro.
courage. And like the
Paul.
way that he's fighting is like really indicative of like his influence over everybody, you know? Like this amount of heroism and will to move forward is what inspired so many people to be like him. And even when he has nothing to fight with, like no armor, no tools, no nothing, he still wants to fucking scrap. He still wants the hands. So yeah, this is looking like he's gonna die next chapter, which is really, really gonna be sad. But he's dying on his own fucking terms. Like he put everything into this fight. And they did it in a way that I didn't think they would, right? Like the fact that he managed to get to push All Might for the not All Might, All For One for this long without a quirk is really impressive. And you know, the whole art for this entire fight was incredible. The storyline was incredible. Like, man, this fight saved my hero from kind of spiraling a little bit because it kind of was so this fight definitely cushioned the fall a little bit and gave it more leg to stand on. So that's why it's my RGC, because this feels like it's setting up the conclusion of this fight. Also, us being able to see All Might's eyes in this fight is also really interesting, because it's like it's like a human. It's like David versus Goliath, and like a human versus a god. You know, instead
Yeah.
of like him being a god himself. But yeah, those are my thoughts.
Yeah, I thought this was a really good chapter too. It's unfortunate that Stain's entire existence got mashed into nothing. It was so quickly. But yeah, All for One is just so fucking strong. He just has quirks that nobody even knows that he has, just because he's been absorbing them forever. So there's almost no accounting for what he can do and fighting him essentially, because he justifiably has like any power you could possibly think of.
I
But
have a dick enlargement quirk.
I got that in the late 80s. He probably has that, not for nothing. He's just been collecting quirks left and right, so it's possible.
I'm never insecure about my dick size, Deku.
Yeah. I have no need to show off. I have no need to maintain my sexuality, because I know that I can make my penis as large or small as I want.
I'm not compensating for anything, Deku.
For anything.
This is just it's just a funny idea. He totally has that. I believe it.
He for sure has it.
Yeah.
That was
Felicia.
like his number one priority quirk.
I'm okay with a Toyota Camry because I can increase the size of my dick. And I do not need a giant Jeep. I do not need a motorcycle
I drive a Tesla to protect
Yo.
the Earth.
to reaffirm my
I thought of a
masculinity.
crazy theory.
What?
Okay. So Shigaraki is the grandson of All Might's disciple. Of All Might's
Nana-
teacher.
yeah. Of,
Mentor. Nana
What if
Shimura.
What if Nana Shimura's baby father was All for One?
that would be pretty crazy. That would mean All for One was his grandfather. Grandfather.
Shigaraki's too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think
think
that would be the
she-
case.
He really does not like her though. That's for sure. Like out of all the people that All for One hated, like I feel like he gets really like he's done a lot to fucking shit on Nana Shimura's legacy.
That's true, but he would still smash.
Like I don't know what she did to
He
make
still
him
might want
so
to still
mad.
smash.
Yeah, you think he's an incel? He's like, she wouldn't let me hit, so
She prefers all these chads, so I must destroy Hero Society.
You know, as corny as this nigga All for One is, I don't see that. I think he was a smooth guy. I think he knew how to manipulate people, which meant he knew how to talk to women too.
And of course, there's his
What did
penis
she
enlargement
do?
quirk.
what did she do to piss him off so much? Because I don't think he did any of the shit he did.
She
to
probably
Nana
said, "I don't
Shimura
care
to-
about how much you can enlarge yourself. You're a shitty person."
I think he did it specifically to fuck with All Might, because he knew All Might cared a lot about her.
Oh,
so-
I guess that makes sense.
I mean, he explained that as much when they fought, when he revealed that Tomura was, when Shigaraki was her grandson. He was like, "Yeah, I made you do all this just so that this guy would hate you, that your master's grandson would hate your fucking guts, because I am petty as hell.
Petty as hell.
And not only do I hurt you physically with my superpowers, I hurt you emotionally and mentally,
And then also financially.
and also financially. You are
I
broke."
trick you into investing into GameStop.
Not so to the moon now, are you, All Might? Where are those diamond hands, All Might?
Where are they?
But
You
yeah, I
should
don't,
have sold.
yeah, you should have sold. You held too long. I'm just remembering that one. Josh, I don't know if you remember that Gurren Lagann video I sent you.
Yeah.
It was like old retards.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, for the stop with the GameStop.
Yeah, I gotta find
Stop.
that again.
Yeah.
That shit was so funny.
That was epic.
uh, but anyway, yeah, I don't really have much else to say about My Hero. It was a great chapter overall. Had a good time reading it. Rip Stain, I guess he's gone.
Jesus, man.
He did a thing
RIP
with.
to the Stain fans.
Oh my god, they're probably like going crazy right now.
I thought it was bad last week. This was rough.
It's like all of the edge of the series is gone now.
Thank God I was not like invested in Stain. I thought he was so cool at first, but I started to realize I just knew. I just knew. And then we were already at the end. So anything that would have happened now, just it would have had to be incredible. And this was really dope, but it wasn't incredible. He should have chopped his fucking head off, and they should have thought that he won. And then All For One should have did some really cheesy shit, so we could have been mad at him, but been like, nah, Stain did his thing. He didn't, bro. He got fucking countered. Come on, man.
Yeah, he showed up and then instantly got washed.
Yeah, man. And you RGC'd that, bro. I gotta
mean,
check
I
you on
did.
that, Brian.
Why not?
What, you don't like Stain?
I mean, that's the king right there. That's the fucking
You-
king of villains.
You enjoyed seeing Stain become a Stain?
I mean, what is he gonna do? What is he gonna do against that? You can't do anything against that.
He should have been lickety licking and then slashy slashing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, to be fair, Josh, he did do that, but it wasn't enough.
Like, what is he supposed to do? Like, with what? What?
Should have did it better. Should have did
what-
it better.
What All For One did? What is he supposed to do against that?
He should have had another arc before this, so this would have been okay. Or sadder.
He got instantly fucking countered, like hard countered. He swapped his Pokemon. Like Stain was a fucking Dark type, and then he swapped out his fucking Psychic type.
Yeah.
How you
That was
beat somebody
bad.
just by turning into an O negative all of a sudden? I'm an AB positive now. What?
That nigga Stain didn't even have time to process what the fuck happened. Then he got chomped.
Yeah.
He was on top of the world, and then all of a sudden he wasn't.
Oh no, guys. I guess. Does this mean? I mean, I hate to do this to Stain, but could it possibly be that Stain received the ass whooping of the week?
Yeah, he did. He did. He got
Bro looked for a rock for hours.
Yeah.
As like a strategic move, he was like, he's not gonna see this shit coming. I'm gonna look for every rock to see if I can find this fucking guy's blood.
Meanwhile,
And he's like, haha, I didn't see that coming, did you, All For One? He's like, I didn't, but I could easily do this. Yeah, I'm sorry, everybody.
How about I been prepped for this? This nigga gotta fight Batman, yo.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
They
guys.
They both need like a month to know that each other exists, and then I want to see what happens.
I don't mean to disrespect your God Stain fans, but I know he just dead. He just died, and
We didn't disrespect him.
All For One definitely did. So
he got
you know.
a metric.
Horikoshi.
I hate to
That
do this
was
on a
like-
death. I hate to do this on someone dying, but this was a lethal ass whooping of the week.
Yeah, it was an incredibly high level ass whooping in Shonen. Probably the most like that was a very, very like brutal ass beating. Like it was not fair.
That nigga's a puddle right now.
Yeah, it's more of the arrogance that he came in with. He was like, gotcha. And then he got gotcha'd. So ass whooping of the week goes to Stain, unfortunately.
Get ready to slumber, brother, go home.
That nigga's finished.
He is gone.
He's finished. He's bon appetit. Done.
We're talking all this shit. Watch him come back next week with something.
No.
No.
No. I might have to put a reverse ass whooping on the week here, like just backwards. If he comes back and actually contributes. If he comes back and contributes to a W.
Yeah, that would be insane.
I'm gonna call something, and it may be out there, but I'm gonna say that that Stain's quirk rebels so hard against All for One at some point that it freezes him in place and allows someone to get one on All for One.
I guess
That
that's
counts.
true.
That
Quirks
counts
can
as an
rebel.
assist at least.
That's my call on how this development's gonna happen.
Like if you looked at the stat sheet at the end of this fight, like at the end of this war or whatever, he at least has an assist there and a rebound.
Mm-hmm. But that's what I'm saying. That's what I think is gonna happen. I feel like Stain's willpower is gonna be so great. It's gonna be infused with his quirk, and he's going to find a way to disable All for One for a second and allow someone to get a good shot in on him.
Yeah, but you think he's just gonna let another quirk do that to him?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of out there. I'm not putting like a 100% confidence, but I have a feeling that's.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy is that this fight could have been so much worse if it weren't for oh wait, or did that happen to Shigaraki? I can't remember. When New World Order ordered like the quirks to go against All for One.
Oh yeah.
That was against Shigaraki, right?
Yeah. So
Okay,
Shigaraki
yeah.
had to expel a bunch of quirks in
Man,
order to
what a
survive. So
crazy-
yeah, All for One came into this battle with a little bit less quirks than he had. All right, but I guess we should move on then.
yeah,
Ready to go?
yeah.
Then let's go. Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yep, this is Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 236, heading south. Last we left off, it seemed as though Gojo actually defeated defeated Sukuna. You know, using all those techniques, using Azure to or Hollow Purple to finally get one over and destroy Maharaga and all that stuff. We open this chapter with Geto, the real Geto, saying yo, and a younger looking Gojo being like, no way, how could things get any worse? So yep, this is pretty crazy. Gojo and Geto get to talking about stuff. And he asks, how is this King of Curses? And Gojo says, man, he's crazy strong. I'm not sure I could have beaten him even if he didn't have Megumi's 10 Shadows. So, yeah, you could already surmise by this point, Gojo's dead. And he's talking to the spirits of his friends. And he's basically talking about how he can sympathize with the sheer solitude of Sukuna more than anyone else. The loneliness of being, by and large, the strongest person in the world at the time. So, and Gojo didn't feel so lonely towards the end because he learned, he loves everybody and he didn't feel lonely. But somewhere along the way, there was a line drawn, not as a human, but as a living creature, saying that you can make a flower bloom and you can admire it, but you can't tell the flower, I want you to understand me. And, he was trying to convey that to Sukuna, that he understood what Sukuna must be feeling at the time, because they are both the strongest sorcerers of their time. But, he says he had fun in this final battle, and he saw that Sukuna wasn't able to give it his all, and for that, he is sorry. Geto says that, hey, are you satisfied? And he's like, well, if you were there too with the rest of our friends, then I might have been satisfied. And then we also see that, Gojo then says that I'm glad that I didn't die of old age or some kind of illness, but because of someone stronger. And we also see that Nanami is there and Haibara. they're both there as well, and talking about how it's weird that Gojo thinks that. Um, he says that like you live for jujutsu, so you don't wield it to protect something. You use it solely for the sake of satisfying yourself. But this was an end worthy of you. I won't condone it, but I can sympathize. And he actually asked Nanami how his death was, and he says, a curse can he mentions that Haibara says that I butted into it. He's like, well, a curse can save people too, just like jujutsu. And he says that in the past, Miss May said, when I asked about her recommendations for leaving the country, she said, if you want to start anew, head north. If you want to return to your old self, head south. And he chose south. So, he bet on the future in his final moment. And it wasn't a bad one at all. He's referring to that moment when he died, where instead he saved himself from cursing Yuji by, encouraging him before he died, so that there wouldn't be any negative feelings when he died and he wouldn't become a curse. Gojo's like, I see. And he yells over to the president, Yamaguchi, who's over there. Oh, Yasamichi, sorry. Right? That was his name? Yasamichi?
Yasamichi, I think.
Oh,
And he's like, wasn't there supposed to be no such thing as a sorcerer dying without regrets? And, they're all laughing together in the afterlife. We see that the Star Plasma girl is also there with Kuro, her attendant.
So she's confirmed dead.
I guess,
finally.
yeah, I guess she died sometime along the way as well. And he prays that this isn't all in his imagination, and I guess it's not Gojo, because the very next page is a very sad 2-page spread of Gojo dead on the floor. And we see the explanation as to how Sukuna was able to pull this off. And in so many words, basically, the way the Maharaga's adaptation process works is that it starts analyzing an attack the second it receives a first attack, and it's complete after a certain amount of time. But then, the more you attack Maharaga, the completion time of its adaptation speeds up. So not only does it ensure the adaptation of the first jujutsu, but the analysis doesn't stop and the adaptation continues. So what Sukuna was basically stalling for, it turns out, was like a model that he can take from Maharaga, and like a method of adaptation that he could pull off personally. Because the first time Maharaga did it, he transmuted it transmuted its own curse to energy in order to neutralize the inviolability, which is something that Sukuna wasn't capable of doing. So he had to wait until Maharaga adapted a different style of adaptation that would match his inviolability. And the second one is the one that Sukuna found. And this was like kind of where it got kind of muddied, but Sukuna unleashed a slash that wasn't targeting Gojo, and it was more extending all the way into space, existence, and the world themselves. So I guess like he was just aiming a slash. I think the trick to getting to Gojo is to not necessarily aim at Gojo, but to the space, the infinity itself, I guess. If that makes any kind of sense. And this is where I'm like kind of fucking confused a little bit, or, not really understanding it, because he says, without regard for your inviolability, as long as it exists inside that space, that world, those existences would split apart. It was an incredibly difficult technique, but I did have quite a wonderful model, as we get a splash page of Sukuna's lower half still standing, as not Sukuna's, Gojo's lower half still standing, as his top half is on the floor. And he basically is like, you were magnificent, Satoru Gojo. I shall never forget you as long as I live. And I think I see a little smile on Gojo. And I'm trying to see if there was a smile there in this 2-page spread, which I'm not sure. But
Is he smiling?
I don't know. Maybe it's just like the way it was drawn that was weird.
He doesn't look like he's smiling in the 2-page spread.
But yeah, we'll get to that when we get to that. But it's not over yet, because without taking any time to mourn the death of Satoru Gojo, soaring towards the battlefield, as we see Sukuna said, like, "I feel great. Don't you dare spoil it." We see the god of lightning, Hajime Kashimo, pulling up to the battlefield, and that is where the chapter ends. Josh, what did you think about Jujutsu Kaisen chapter 236?
I had to like this one again before I started talking. So I'm hurt.
Yeah.
I felt cut in the middle, like Gojo was. How many times did I say it? But I didn't believe it. I didn't really believe it every time I said it. I knew that it made so much sense for it to happen this way. Even beyond tropes, thematically, it made sense that Gojo would lose this match in order for the next generation to step forward some way. And that's always been Gojo's thing anyway. You've mentioned that a few times too, Chris, but man, he died off screen basically. I mean, we got an explanation of how it happened, and I think you said it really well, Chris, as well as any of us probably could put it. He aimed. You're right. He just aimed for space, and he used Maharaga to be able to attack him. Without someone like Maharaga, he wouldn't have been able to beat Gojo, right? But he knew he could do this when he seen Maharaga in that other arc. What was that arc called? The something district, the Tokyo district arc?
Shibuya?
Was that Shibuya? Oh yeah, and
That's the only time that Maharaga. That was like the first time Maharaga came out. So.
Yeah. So right, and I think so Sukuna probably got the idea there, and then that it was hot, like that was a way to beat Gojo. I'm so mad that this happened. I'm so mad he drew him chopped in half like that.
Yeah.
This nigga had yo, Gigi is a wicked dude.
The thing is, like, I think Gojo. All right, so first off, oh wait, go ahead. You can finish your thoughts.
Go ahead, please. I don't really know what else to say.
Like, I feel like, I don't know. Like, part of me is like, I guess it makes sense, but another part of me is like, I feel like they took away too much from Gojo in this fight with the way that they were talking in the afterlife, where he's like, "Oh, I don't know if I could handle it."
Can I let me ask you something. Let me ask both of y'all something real quick before you finish, Brian. At what point did y'all know?
No, what?
They was
in
dead?
This chapter. At what point did you know?
The very second that I saw him talking to Geto, and also I was spoiled. I was giga spoiled. God. Also, I was giga spoiled before I knew Gojo had died.
No.
By the way, yeah, that's something I had to mention. Before I read this chapter, I got a pretty substantial spoiler right up top in the morning on like a fucking Wednesday morning. That was Gojo, but I think I would have been able to put it together because if he's talking to Geto, then I would have been like, oh, he's dead for sure then. Because I feel like something similar happened with Nobara when she died, where she was in this other...
Nobara wasn't there, though.
No, not there specifically, but she was in this other plane of existence. and I feel like that's where I got it. Where I'm like, this is probably like some weird purgatory afterlife type thing that Nobara was in, but for Gojo.
I think Nobara would have been there if she were dead, though. No.
I feel like everybody's just made up for their own, personal afterlives. Where although he does care a lot for Nobara, I think like Gojo would have been. These are Gojo's people, like Geto, Nanami, Hibara, the girl from the Star Platinum girl. Those were all his like. Those are the closest people in his life. And when Shoko dies, she'd be there. But yeah, I don't know. I would have surmised, I think, but I got spoiled pretty early. So
Yeah, where were you going with this, Josh?
No, I just was curious. I
So
it really didn't hit for me until they showed the rest of the people there on the couch.
yeah, not I mean.
And then they showed, and then he said something to your man's I can't believe I forget his name already.
Nanami.
Yeah. Masamichi, yeah.
Oh, Masamichi, yeah.
Yeah. And I knew right then and there, like this is bad.
It's a wrap.
Well, that means he died with no regrets, right?
Well,
So he's not gonna curse.
he didn't curse nobody, so that's good. Were those all your thoughts, Josh?
Yeah.
Brian, what did you think?
I thought they took away too much from Gojo. Like when they were like, "Oh yeah, I don't know if I could even handle him if he didn't have the 10 shadows and stuff like that." Like I know they're playing into the whole thing that Sukuna wasn't going all out, but I feel like Gojo did so much in this fight that I feel like he didn't even have to say something like that. Though I guess like dying is like a humbling experience for him because, he was the greatest for as long as he was alive. So, I don't know. I just feel like that part left a bad taste in my mouth. And Gojo, obviously being killed off screen was also a little meh to me as well. But I do like the explanation that Sukuna gave for why he didn't go as hard as he could have. I think it's very much like Sukuna to do something like this, like using fights not just to win, but to further increase his strength. Like he literally used this fight as a way to improve his own curse technique, and that's probably why he's the strongest sorcerer, because he doesn't fight for no reason. Like there's always something to gain from defeating an opponent, and if there isn't something to gain, then he just kind of fucking slobber knocks them, right? Like he just destroys them. So I thought that was a really interesting thing, but I doubt Gojo is going to come back, but he did mention before that like the only way to really kill him is to cut off his head.
I actually have. Here's the thing. A lot of people have been saying that he's not dead yet, and I could see why they think that, but because of like what he said to Toji when Toji killed him. A lot of it, I think, had to do with the fact that Toji also didn't use any cursed energy when he killed him. So I don't know. I think he's gone. I think Gojo is like gone because of the fact that Sukuna actually used cursed energy to kill him. But that's my thought on it, and I think also Josh touched on it. Is that thematically it makes sense for Gojo to die here.
I think there's a chance that Sukuna takes over Gojo's body.
Maybe. It's entirely possible. I wanted to see if I could find the right the passage where he talks about his death and all that stuff and why Toji didn't end up doing it for him. Do. But yeah, I'm on the camp more that Gojo is pretty much gone because thematically it makes sense that his whole time of being alive has been gearing up younger people to be as strong as him. And not that he's done that necessarily, but he wanted to have like his whole like existence was based on the idea of improving the young people so that they could rise up against the old and more conservative jujutsu like guard at the time.
You know who he reminds me of?
Yeah.
What's his name? The fucking the guy from Haikyuu, the setter that what's his name? Kageyama was rivals with.
Oikawa.
Yeah, he was like Oikawa. Because I know he isn't average, but during the fight, Sukuna called him painfully ordinary. And there's probably some truth to that because Gojo pretty much had the strongest combination of you know tools given to him to be the strongest. Like he had the strongest curse technique combined with the six eyes. So he didn't really have to be like as innovative as Sukuna, you know? Like he didn't have to push himself as hard as Sukuna would have had to become this good at curse technique. So I think Gojo relied too much on his innate skill and his strength and his like curse technique that he, and also it could be for lack of competition in his era as well. But I feel like he just didn't, you know, he didn't evolve enough. And he didn't learn enough from his fights like Sukuna would have. So it's insane that Sukuna can do all of this and it's not even like his curse techniques. Like he just adapts on the fly and learns from it by himself. So I don't know. This was honestly like a really amazing fight in the series. But I don't know. I feel like maybe this could have ended a little bit better. Like it's weird. It's like I feel like this was a really good chapter, but I also feel unfulfilled. But maybe that's the point. So I'm not sure. Like maybe they're saving like the victory over like this moment for when somebody else fights Sukuna and beats him. Which I don't know who the fuck is gonna beat this guy now. With all that he's done, because now he can
They've been
literally cut
building
through
up
time and space.
Okotsu. They've been building up Okotsu, man. I think
No,
he has another gear he can
Akotsu
get
is against
into.
Kenjaku.
Oh, you think
They've been
so?
building up Yuji against him for the most part.
True. The fact that he has to fight against his friend Megumi, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna save Megumi. But what if Megumi becomes kind of like a Sukuna-esque like sorcerer where he can kind of grow like he becomes a scholar of it, you know, and starts adapting his own curse technique the same way Sukuna does. Because
That would be sick.
I mean, Megumi has been like the more technical sorcerer out of the three between between Yuji and Nobara. Like he has shown to be like more of a what's the word? There's a word that I'm thinking of. I can't remember. I can't think of the word, but he's shown to be more interested in how to make and create curse techniques, you know?
Mm.
So I'm just curious to see what he's going to be like when he gets released from Sukuna, if he does at all.
Yeah, I guess he'd have to stop being possessed by Sukuna at some point in order to do that, though. Yeah,
Those are my thoughts.
I think yeah, this was a very interesting chapter, and first of all, this is my really good chapter of the week, to be honest.
Certified RGC.
I ain't even mad at you.
Certified RGC.
I was too emotional to make that call, man. I was too emotional to make that call.
What call? This one?
The RGC this?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I get it. But yeah, I thought it was like really interesting. I was like screaming to the heavens hoping that Gojo would win just to see if we could get a series that will break this kind of trope. But either way, I don't think I would have been dissatisfied because I think it makes sense for either of them to win at any point. And Sukuna earned his win, unlike a lot of like battles that go this way. You know what I mean?
Do you think Pain earned his win against
No, he cheated technically.
Yeah, because he jumped that nigga. He jumped him, man.
This was mano a mano as two guys who were of equal skill level just going at it. Josh is gone. But I think what's interesting about it is that like from the very beginning, hey, welcome back.
My bad. Gojo had Maharaga though.
He did. No, Sukuna had Maharaga.
Yeah.
But look, here's what I'll say is that I think Sukuna knew from the beginning, and he was only after one thing, is to get rid of that inviolability, because that really is the difference between Gojo and a lot of sorcerers and a lot of people he faces, is that like nobody even has a chance. So that's why I'm not like so. That's why I wasn't really so harsh on Maharaga, is that like, well, you're going up against someone you can't even touch. So,
Yeah.
it's like I understand Maharaga and at the end of the day, he did use Maharaga like a tool. Because he wasn't really counting on Maharaga to beat Gojo. He was using Maharaga to find a way for him to beat Gojo, like a viable way for Sukuna himself to get rid of the inviolability or to cut through the inviolability. And Maharaga was just that kind of tool. It was like a weakness detector. And all Sukuna really had to do was survive for like half hour until like Maharaga can like reveal an answer that he can accomplish. And he did. And man, it's going to be interesting to see how this goes from here on out, because Sukuna is just such a crazy, menacing villain that like I don't know how Brian's right. I don't know how anybody beats this guy. And I'm excited to see how Kashimo goes at it, because he's eager. He was waiting. This had not changed his mind at all. Like watching Sukuna beat Gojo, he's like, I still want all the smoke. I still want it.
Yeah, he didn't even like. He just was like, okay, I'm next. Like,
tap
no
in.
hesitation.
So I'm excited to see how that goes. I'm glad that Jujutsu Kaisen is not on break for that. But imagine he just like cuts this guy in half on the way.
Yeah. As he's coming towards him, he just like. Yeah. You ever seen a movie called Kung Fu Hustle?
I have seen a movie called Kung Fu Hustle.
All right. There's a scene where like these people have like these the instruments, and it's set in like slicing waves with the instrument, and it like in the shadow it showed people like getting like objects, and like there was a cat that got cut in half too, but you didn't see it. It happened in the shadow.
Mm-hmm.
I just imagine like that's what we see, like it happens like in a small panel, just Kashimo's like figure and splits in half.
Yeah.
And everyone starts talking like, "Damn, all right, so what we gonna do now?"
Damn, I gotta watch Kung Fu Hustle again.
That was funny.
But yeah, I do think it is kind of like I mentioned this before, but I think it's like thematically makes sense for Gojo to die here and let the young ones figure out what to do about this, even though it seems kind of reckless. But okay.
Well, I don't think he did it on purpose.
He didn't.
I
He
think
definitely
just
didn't do
knew
it on
that-
purpose. To be fair,
I think
but
he knew it was possible.
I think this is what he was like trying to aim for, so that at the end of the day, he can't live forever. And if he were to be killed somebody, he would like to leave a Jujutsu young world strong enough to be able to take on Gojo. Now, is he dead? A lot of people don't think so. A lot of people think he can still come back from this. I'm not necessarily one of those people, but I guess I wouldn't be surprised if Gojo found a way.
The only reason it seems like he's not coming back is because it looks like he doesn't want to.
Yeah, he's talking to his ghost friends, and they're
Yeah.
not doing the thing where like you're not done yet. You know what I mean? Like your battle's not over yet. You have to go back. They're not doing that. They're like, motherfucker, you're here. You're dead.
No, I mean, Gojo said he's hoping that he's praying this isn't all his imagination. So it's like he seems like he's okay with just passing on now,
Yeah, he's at peace.
which is the only reason why he might not come back. But I'm sure if he wanted to come back, he could.
I'm sure he would want to come back to not leave his friends to die at the hands of Sukuna, but I don't know. Maybe he has some contingencies.
I mean, he lost. I don't think he has anything else to live for.
Yeah. But it wasn't an embarrassing loss, Unlike Stain. I'm sure Stain wishes he could come back. But yeah, that's all I got to say about Jujutsu Kaisen. I really like this chapter.
Would do it again.
Yeah.
Yo, the last panel from the previous issue says Gojo won. Then you go into this next chapter, and he's in the afterlife.
Oh yes.
Like that's what I mean. Like, come on, man. That was kind of cheap, but it's all right.
I get it. I actually didn't hate that. I thought it was like
I didn't hate it either. I'm just throwing that out there.
There's this sense of like dissatisfaction, I guess, because we didn't get like the definitive. We didn't see how it happened. But I think this is also very Jujutsu Kaisen, where there's
it was incredible. The delivery was so crazy. It made it hit an emotional string in me, So
in a sense, it's effective in that way, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, we did it for this guy, so we got to do it for Gojo. Gojo is at the moment dead, so. It's not fun, but if he comes back, he gets the 1-up sound, so we'll have to see. At least it wasn't ass whooping of the week because he put up a good fight. He put Sukuna like pretty much on the ropes the whole time. So
apparently
who's Shoko?
Shoko is the nurse lady, the doctor girl that uses reverse curse technique to heal people.
He says it does, and then there's the matter of his father. He says, "Oh well, I already asked Shoko to handle that." What was that about?
Because Gojo is technically Megumi's caretaker at the time. So he probably just like, hey, if I die, take care of Megumi. If you guys are able to save him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that pretty much confirmed it.
Yeah, but that's all I gotta say about Jujutsu Kaisen. Fantastic chapter overall. It's a good ending to this to this battle, to be honest. As confusing of feelings as I feel about it. I did like it a lot, but are we ready to move on to the next one?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, let's go. Chainsaw Man. This is Chainsaw Man, chapter 143. Rawr. Last we left off with Chainsaw Man, the weapon devils were all poised to attack this amusement park mall thing, to make Chainsaw Man activate himself and fight. And we start off with the sword devil, the spear devil, and I believe the whip devil, all at this just basically at this food court. And the spear devil is like, listen up, children, our orders are to make humans scream as loudly as possible. So, you know, they'll target women and children, higher voices, better screams. Yeah, the whip devil is like, did you just call me a child? She says, I'll be 82 this year. Show some respect. So, you know, they're just like kind of talking about it, like arguing. And she's like, I'm eternally young and tough as nails. I'll never die. I'm a superior human specimen. I believe I was chosen by God. And the spirit devil was like, well, whatever. That'll make our imminent murder spree a message from God. I like the way you think. So, you know, they wait for 5 on the dot as, you know, that's when the thing is that's when they're going to go off. The sword devil seems to be kind of not dealing with this well. And he's like, this is a message from God. Yeah, a message from God. I'm a weapon. I'm only loaning out my body for a little. That's all. And they're about to activate themselves and turn into their devils, but then they all get cut up pretty easy by none other than Quan Chi, who is back, baby. The only one who's able to activate themselves is the sword devil. And he's like, why you? But then he easily also gets dispatched by Quan Chi. And yeah, the 3 weapon devils are gone. And this kid who fell, you know, who tripped before their feet, just like looks up at her, and she only looks down at him and goes, "Rawr," and then he runs away. So she gets into her walkie-talkie and she goes, got him. And pretty much, yeah, the target suspension is confirmed, and you know, the day is saved essentially before it even happens. And we get a news report where they explain that the multiple gunmen opened fire inside of a department store, and that they were followers of the Chainsaw Man Church. So, you know, the death toll is unconfirmed at this time, but the everybody is taking swift action in response. And we cut over to the Chainsaw Man Church headquarters, which I didn't realize has a giant Chainsaw Man head on it. And they're a little bit panicking, just like, oh shit, they'll search the building. If they find the weapons in the basement, we could be charged with treason. And that one kid from the devil, the one with the like fake Chainsaw Man thing in his chest, is like, no one ever told me we had weapons. What's going on? And he says, gather all the combat trained followers outside the prayer room. And he's like, what's going on? And this guy is just like, I don't know a thing. I never heard a word about it. And neither did you, right, founder? So I guess they plan on denying that they had anything to do with this. And yeah, that's where this weird chapter ends. Josh, what did you think about Chainsaw Man chapter 143?
This was a really odd chapter. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm really glad they didn't decide to kill children and a bunch of people, and that they staged an event where they got killed themselves. That I didn't see that coming at all. But I thought that was a pretty cool twist.
No, they didn't stage that. They got defeated by the public safety because I think Quan Chi.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, because Quan Chi is, I guess, working for public safety now.
Oh shit! I don't know how I didn't put 2 and 2 together. That is Quan Chi. Oh my god. Mega derp. Oh, that makes this way cooler. She smoked them all real quick.
Yep.
But they're weapons, so they're not dead.
No, I don't think so.
Right as she said it's showtime, they all started getting sliced. Yo, I was on the. I'm sorry, guys. This chapter was hilarious, but I don't know what to think. I don't know what's up with this with the church. Like I'm not really sure what this is leading to. I don't- I really want to hear your thoughts about the last part of the chapter.
Brian,
It's
what do you
nice
I
to see
see
Quan Chi again. I was wondering where she was.
she came out of nowhere. Why is Quan Chi part of the public safety now?
I have no clue.
Well, they probably got her at the end of, because she was technically working for Makima, who was in public safety at the time. So
So they just acquired her.
yeah, and she used to be part of public safety before.
So Denji technically turned into Chainsaw Man. Does that mean he's in trouble?
Denji didn't turn into Chainsaw Man.
Yeah, he did.
When?
You didn't see it where he was like, "Why you?"
That's not Chainsaw
That's
Man.
not Chainsaw Man. That's the Sword Devil.
What? No.
That's the Sword Devil.
Hold on.
Are you looking at the wrong chapter or something?
No.
That kid
Hold
is
on.
not
Why is
Denji.
this shit's so fucking slow. Shonen Jump app. I thought that was maybe I just didn't look closely enough, but
You thought he pulled up and was like, "Oh, it's you again," and then got sliced.
oh yeah, that is a sword. I thought I didn't even look closely enough. I thought those were chainsaws. Whoops.
Whoops.
Um, this whole time I was like, man, wow, Denji came and she showed up too late, I guess. But yeah, that was an interesting little chapter. It was nice to see Quan Chi. It felt really short.
That's because it was. It's like 15 pages, I think, this chapter.
Really,
I feel like
really
this
odd.
chapter smacked me in the face.
I feel the same way.
Yo, Quan Chi got a lace eye patch. She had a thong for her face. Face thong.
Face all.
Thong patch.
But yeah, I don't got much to say about this chapter. It's fun to see Quan Chi again, but
Yeah. This was like such a sudden. I really liked this chapter a lot. I loved the entrance of Quan Chi because Quan Chi is just so cool, and I genuinely, it was the last thing I expected. So, I thought it was great. And the fact that she dispatched 3 of the weapon devils so easily is very cool, with a Kewl.
who did she lose to again?
She lost to Makima.
Oh yeah, she did.
But
Pretty easy too.
yeah,
She said, please leave my girlfriends alone. She said no.
basically
The Halloween.
Halloween,
I
the
remember
Cosmos
her.
Devil. But yeah, that was a very entertaining chapter overall. The chapter ends kind of abruptly, so I don't really know what to make of the last page, but I guess I'm with it. I guess I'm excited to find out what
Sure.
happens next in Chainsaw Man. But really, yeah, I agree. Those are really all my thoughts on Chainsaw Man. I don't really know what to make of this chapter outside of Quan Chi's fucking Q. So
She is pretty fucking cute.
she's Q. But yeah, that's all I got, man. Y'all ready to move on to the next one?
Is her?
Yes.
Alrighty, let's go.
Oh shit!
Undead Unluck. And with this, I'm gonna toss this over to Josh.
Let's get everybody. Undead Unlock. Chapter number 176. It's loading. That's the whole reason. This chapter was fucking insane. for reasons I never was expecting. All right, that's some foreshadowing. But before that, last week, um, Rip was introduced to the idea of Umas and the Gators in this wild world as all of the patients in his hospital is sick, and he rushed around to help heal them, but realized that all he could do was prolong their status, for now until he can't do anything if they get sick again. So Fuko pulls up and lets him know, listen, um, you gotta use this artifact and unlock your negation powers. And he says, bet, I will do it. I'll do anything for my patients. That's who Rip is in this loop. He's a doctor and stuff.
A doctor.
The best. He's the best one too. Slinging candy and saving lives. So yeah. This week we cut to Rip when he was a child. He's talking to this is when he, I guess, met Layla and Latla. And Latla's already in the back fucking hating, looking at him a certain way. But Rip ain't paying attention to that. Yeah, she's hating mad hard. So he calls out other girl. That shit was so funny. I guess they're kids, so it is what it is. So he's just reminiscing in the past. And we cut to now, and Rip is just like, look, if I gotta get this unrepairability, then so fucking be it, right? Like, how do we do this? And she's like, well, look, first of all, like, the Uma is special, it's stronger than the others, but we need like your, particular unrepairability to kill it. It's like where you're at right now isn't enough. And BT dubs, I'm gonna have to amputate your legs.
Just as a side note.
Yeah. And then Layla says the thing I was already thinking, like, he can't just put them shits on, and Fuko's like, nah. That's just not how
No.
it works.
No,
That's
you
sorry.
must cut off your legs.
And Rip is like, yeah, whatever. I'm gonna do it. Just let me step out for a bit. And guys, when I tell you, I thought he was about to be out. But he tells the girls to come with him to like hop in this. Oh, he has the motorcycle. Oh no, Layla has the motorcycle with the attachment for the extra person. Pretty cool. So they go for a little night ride out, and they head over to the beach to go relax. And Layla's like, "Yo, what the fuck? Like, is she about to die? Is that why we doing this?" He's like, "Nah. Like, I feel like this might be the last time we might get to chill all together." So I'm gonna interpret this my way, and then when I finish this chapter, I want to know how you felt about this, Chris. So it's just cute. They're playing around, and like there's a moment where Rip is looking at Layla, and he's realizing that I'm just gonna put it frankly. He's acknowledging that he absolutely has feelings for Layla. You know what I'm saying? And at first, I thought that maybe he was implying that he always shielded his feelings for her because he knew that the other sister liked him and he knew how sick she was, so he wanted to keep her happy. But no, this is about polygamy. When he grabs both of these girls up and brings them back to the beach, he's like, okay, I'm just gonna make them both my wives. Fuck it. And I'm gonna cut my legs off and I'm gonna save the world. And then they drive back. And they're ready. And that was the end of the chapter, essentially. Chris, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought it was a cute moment. I don't know about polygamy. Is that what you think, there?
Yes, both are his wives.
Yeah. I think it's more like, these are the people that have been with me for like ever, and I've been trying my best.
No, he had a moment of love. for Layla too. It was either he was gonna love both of them, or he was gonna switch up and only love Layla. What do you think, bro? It's
I
between those two.
I think he loves Layla, and that Latla's like a sister to him. Is the vibe.
He about to double up.
I feel like that'll be a little weird with two biological siblings.
That's crazy, right?
That's why I don't think that's
They
what's being
can't have
said
no
here.
threesomes. That's weird.
That's why I don't think that's what's gonna happen. I feel like it'd be weird if he's in a polygamous relationship with two biological siblings.
Yeah, I agree. That is pretty weird.
I think it's literally like, I love Layla, and Latla is like a sister to me, and we've always been together, we've always been pals, we've always been hanging out, we're the besties. This is the squad. I don't know if he's doubling up, Josh. I think that's kind of crazy. It'd be pretty wild if he was. But I don't think that's what we're supposed to get from this.
You think it was just a wholesome family moment?
Yeah. Yeah.
Of, hey, you're my wife's sister, and you'll always be with us too.
Yeah. I feel like that's in line with Undead Unluck's usual wholesomeness. I don't think.
Layla has feelings for him.
Yeah, both of them have feelings for him, I guess, but I think he is focused on one of them, and only one.
I think he's focused on both now.
No. No.
He's gonna lose both his legs, so now he's gonna need two women to support him to replace those legs.
Well, not if he uses those blade legs for the rest of his life.
It's a good one.
But overall,
right,
I thought this chapter was cute. I liked it. It was a nice little moment for Rip to have his final moments with his legs before he. Really, I took this more as a farewell to my legs than anything. Just to let them know, and to let both of them know, is like, I want you guys to remember, the commitment I'm putting into this. I'm gonna cut off my own legs on a motorcycle, it seems. As he sees, you see, like at the last page, he's like drawing the line where he would have to be amputated, which is wild.
Oh my God.
Which is why it's so crazy. What Fugo's been asking from a lot of people, but this may take the cake.
Yeah, this is the toughest one.
Yeah, she came in with a pretty obscene fucking ask. He's like, "Hi, stranger. You don't know me, but I know you from a different time, and I'm gonna need you to cut your own legs off, and believe me, on our first meeting, you're gonna have to trust me, bro. Trust me, this is gonna work out if you cut your own legs off, and wear these metal boots.
Wear these instead.
You're gonna put these on."
Yep. You gonna rock these for me, alright? So these high top, these steel high tops.
Trust me, bro. You're gonna have to trust me, bro. I don't know. But yeah, I guess I'm excited for the next chapter to see how he amputates his own legs.
It's a risky operation, bro, to get metal legs.
He's got to do it on the move. I know he's a good doctor and all, but goddamn, there's a limit. But yeah, that's all I really got to say about Undead Unluck. Josh, what were your thoughts?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Like, I wonder how this is about to be spectacular. I guess they're not gonna just cut his legs off screen and do that. They're gonna show us, and I'm not thrilled about that. The prospect of it. I'm just seeing Gojo cut in half was enough. RIP if you watched the series and you wasn't caught up to other series yet. I gotta stop doing that. But
it's okay.
That affected me. That affected me this week. So I don't have the stomach for more. Maybe next Sunday it'll be different. Yeah, he drew the line right above his knee. I'm not thrilled about it.
Yeah, look at him smile too. Like, yeah, I'm gonna cut off my own legs.
Yeah, not the only normal one is the sixth sister, Layla.
Yeah, she's like, what the fuck?
Yo,
I don't think she heard what he has to do.
what does she have? Sick ears?
That's a funny way to call someone deaf, I guess. What's wrong with your ears? Are they sick?
Yeah, that is fucked up.
You are ear sick? Yeah, I guess that's the name of the episode, Sick Ears.
So I even gotta write it down.
I don't think so.
I got a bunch of other ones written
Yeah.
down too. That's so funny. You'll hear them though.
Yeah, I will. But Sick Ears is pretty good. But yeah, I mean, I guess all those are your thoughts on Undead.
We'll write it down anyway. Yeah, that was it.
I'm gonna start saying that to people instead of like saying, "Are you deaf?"
Don't do that. That's fucked up, bro.
I would be like, "What's yo? Are your ears sick? You got sick ears or something?"
Yes. No, like hard at hearing.
Yeah,
Like if you're deaf, you're deaf. Sick ears is like your hearing's not great.
yeah. Are your ears sick?
Disease of the ears.
Yeah, I don't know why that kills me so much, but
It's not feeling under the weather. Like, oh, what's wrong? My
yelling at
ears-
someone that their ears sick is so funny to me. All right. Well, I guess if that's it for Undead Unluck, that's also it for our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. As per usual, you could find me at the Curtis Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. My other podcast, Bish Weekly, check that out. You can follow Josh at JDCole_37 on Instagram, at New Jump City Josh on Twitter. Brian is at b.esp on Twitter and Instagram. Check out when he's streaming at twitch.tv/its punchline. Email us with your questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about on newjumpcitypod@gmail.com, or please comment under the video you're watching if you're watching on YouTube. Let us know what you guys think about everything that's been going on in the chapters. Let us know your thoughts on the show, any questions you may have. Email us, all that stuff. Comment, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff on YouTube. We could really use it right now because the algorithm, I feel, is kind of burying us. But that's neither here nor there. Check that out. Or, however you want to help. If you want to listen on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, that's also very helpful and very appreciated. So do all that. Without further ado, that's it for the show. And yeah, stay safe, New Jump citizens. See you guys next week.
Bye.
R.I.P. Gojo.